Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today's Daily Record is guitar hero Steve Miller and the Steve Miller Band, and this is the classic album Fly Like an Eagle. My dad had this album in his collection, and I remember looking at the cover and thinking how crazy it looked with the guitar upside down and all that. Playing the left-handed guitar, right side, whatever. It just was strange looking. What's this guy doing? And the back cover, he's kind of mellow looking. It's not this wild-haired, crazy-looking guy that's on the front of the album. This was Steve Miller's band's 9th album. It was released in May of 1976 on Capitol Records, produced by Steve Miller. And the Steve Miller Band at this point consisted of Steve Miller on guitar and vocals, Gary Malaber and Lonnie Turner on bass, and Gary was the drummer. This album was a huge hit, and just by talking about it, the space intro keyboard thing melded into Fly Like an Eagle, which was a big hit. This album also had Take the Money and Run. So quite a few big hits. There's Blues Odyssey, Rockin' Me, which was another big hit. His version of Mercury Blues. Quite a few hit songs on this album. Of course, the title track, Fly Like an Eagle, Take the Money and Run, Rockin' Me, it led the album to receive quadruple platinum certification. Like I said, one of the biggest albums of all time. Released in May of 1976. I don't know if I said that earlier. Now, there was a live 30th anniversary, and the CD version was remastered and remixed, and there were some bonus tracks, a DVD concert, a concert recorded, and it featured some of the musicians like George Thorogood, Joe Satriani, and so it goes into great detail about the album. It was ranked on the Rolling Stone 500 Greatest Albums of All Time, and it was also listed, I think, in Q Magazine as one of the great albums of all time. Now, as an album, it's really interesting sonically. It's a strong set of songs. There's a few covers. The version of You Send Me, very different than what you would expect. There's an interesting version of Dance, Dance, Dance. Just some very nice, of course, Mercury Blues, which Steve Miller Band did, I believe, at Monterey Pop Festival back in '67. I think they were there and were doing Mercury Blues. But this is a very different version. It's a very slick sounding album, and maybe some of the synthesizer and keyboard sounds gives it a little bit of a dated sound, but I personally like it. And one of the things I find interesting about this album that draws me in is Steve Miller's vocals. He has this vocal effect that he does where he doubles the lead, and it just gives a very interesting sound. Steve is not a fantastic singer by any stretch of the imagination, but he does some interesting things with his vocals that's instantly recognizable. And I like that in an artist where you can hear him and go, yeah, I know who that is. The guitar playing, despite what the album cover may give you, it's not one of those guitar hero albums, but it's certainly a very interesting guitar album. I've always liked the outro to Take the Money and Run, where the guitars just start strumming like crazy, which is crazy. And just as a side note, the song Dance, 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 a lot of people said it was the best John Denver song that John Denver never recorded. John Denver fans, tell me what you think. But one of the classic all-time albums, Steve Miller Band's Fly Like an Eagle, worthy of its classic status. It's a great album, top to bottom. I enjoy this album for what it is, and have an affinity toward it. Maybe it's because my dad had a copy in his own collection. So it might draw me in a little bit. Like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. Check out my other channel, Tommy Burton's VC channel. In the meantime, I will see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.